What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, and the Patreon patrons we working. Please believe it. I'm back with my original segment, Boxing Ego's First Look, a tale of the tape series, a sneak peek, a preview of the fight before the fight. Now, a fight I'm looking forward to because this fight is not just a regular fight. This will establish the undisputed 140-pound junior welterweight champion of the world, Craig. And it's been a long time coming. We haven't had an undisputed champion, especially one with a name, in quite some time. Now, other people in the past, like Bernard Hopkins, have done it, but it's good to see a fight of this magnitude get that type of honors. And Terence Crawford is the Ring Magazine, the WBC and the WBO champion, facing the IBF and WBA champion, Julius Indongo. So Terence Bud Crawford versus Julius Indongo. Battle of two unbeaten fighters at the Pinnacle Bank Arena. And it's in Lincoln, Nebraska, August 19th. Another great thing is this is on ESPN. So if you have ESPN app, if you have ESPN, the regular package, or ESPN Deportes, you'll be able to watch this particular fight. And that's always good for boxing. It looks like Top Rank with this new partnership. They put on Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn. Right before the Crawford Indongo fight, you have Vasyl Lomachenko versus Miguel Mariaga. I did a Boxing Ego First Look on that. So we're getting some boxing back on ESPN, which is always a great thing. Now, Terence Crawford, emphatic performance against another Olympic gold medalist. The first one I remember was at 135 when he fought UNDERCARD Gamboa. Tough fight. I would say probably his toughest fight to date. Gamboa was giving him some work. 5-6 rounds. I think Gamboa was definitely in there, but Crawford made those championship adjustments and he dealt with the crafty Cuban and he was able to put him down, I believe, 4 times, eventually stopping him, and he became the first to stop UNDERCARD Gamboa. Very cocky demeanor in the ring. He has power, athletic. So that was a fight that kind of put Terence Crawford on the map and had people who hadn't been checking for him. I've been checking for him for a while, even before Bradis Prescott, back when Terence Crawford had the twisties, the dreads in his hair, right? But that was kind of the fight that put him on the map. It was an HBO event. Now, fast forward to the future, he just fought another Olympic gold medalist in Felix Diaz from the Dominican Republic. Shout out to Diaz. He had been calling out Terence Crawford for at least a year. And, you know, as the saying goes, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And that's what happened. Felix Diaz was toyed with. He was kind of humiliated, in my opinion, in terms of the fact that you called out a man for over a year and said he's ducking you and he's afraid, and then you got in the ring. And if I'm not mistaken, I had Felix Diaz losing every single round before the 10th round stoppage. The corner was like, nah, too much, no mas. You know what I mean? It was just too much of a beatdown. And that was a surgical performance by Crawford. He was like playing patty cake with Felix Diaz, literally with Felix Diaz's head. He was bullying him. He was getting off with shots whenever he wanted to. He fought southpaw. It was a phenomenal performance. And just before that, I covered that Terence Crawford fight live in Omaha, and that was his fight versus John Molina, another Al Heyman fighter. And his last 2 fighters have been Al Heyman fighters, and he's kind of destroying them. Now he has a different challenge in Julius Indongo. Indongo also undefeated. He got back-to-back title wins. He dethroned Edward Troyanovsky, who was rated within the IBF. He was undefeated at the time. It was like a 40-second knockout. And this was a guy that some people were saying could give Terence Crawford a run for his money. And I'm talking about Troyanovsky. He was the #1 mandatory for Crawford, I believe. And he destroyed him in the first round. Destroyed. And that was a massive upset. It was one of the knockouts of the year for that particular year. And then he beat Ricky Burns in a very dominant fashion to win the WBA title last April. Ricky Burns is a guy that Terence Crawford also faced. Crawford went to Burns' backyard in Scotland and fought him, took the belt from him when he was at 135. Ricky Burns bounced back, moved up a division, started fighting at 140, captured another title, had some tough fights with Kirill Relic, and then he got dominated by Julius Indongo. So I'm looking forward to it. This is 2 rated Guys, this is 2 champions, 2 undefeated fighters. Somebody's O has to go. And on top of everything else, this is going to be on ESPN, which I really like, because this is that type of fight. And we need to make the Crawford, I feel like his star power should be even greater. You know what I mean? He's willing to unify with Victor Postol. He's willing to fight 2 gold medalists. He's willing to fight big punchers like John Molina Jr. Different styles. You know what I mean? So I like this partnership with Top Rank and ESPN, because he'll be able to really and truly showcase his skills. Julius Indongo, like I said, is no pushover. People are already rating Terence Crawford pound for pound, and rightfully so. He's clearly game. He's clearly down to scrap with whoever. And if he becomes the man at 140, there's been a lot of great fighters who have come through 140 in recent years. Tim Bradley, Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner, right? There's been a ton of people, but none of them that I remember were really undisputed, or it's been a while. So all in all, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good fight. And the other thing I like is Julius Indongo. He sounds pretty confident, and you got to watch out for guys like that, because at the end of the day, guys like Indongo, he really has nothing to lose. Terence Crawford is the A side. Terence Crawford has had the better promotion. Terence Crawford is the name in the States. Terence Crawford is just a guy with overall more notoriety. That being said, Indongo, he's a few fights removed from being unheard of in the States. So this is an opportunity. And ESPN had another fight, Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn, where we watched a legend lose to a guy with 15, 16 fights in Jeff Horn. That was virtually unheard of. So these dudes aren't playing. These dudes are really coming. Whether they can do it and fulfill their destiny and beat the A side, that remains to be seen. But what I'm saying is, these guys are looking at it as an opportunity. They want something. They want something Pacquiao has. They want something Terence Crawford has. They want something Mayweather has, or whoever the person is, the A side, Canelo. They want that. And Indongo, like I said, he really has less to lose. Although he's a champion and he'll lose his belt if he loses to Crawford, it's like people don't really know his name. Aside from the hardcore boxing fans, a lot of people don't know his name. So it'll kind of be expected if Terence Crawford wins. So Terence Crawford has to be on his P's and Q's versus a guy like this. And the other thing is, from what I've seen, Indongo has heart, and it looks like he's willing to go out on his shield and bring his A game, try to make adjustments. And like I said, when a guy has nothing to lose, that makes them dangerous, because they're going to try different things and risk it all. Julius Indongo did an interview and he said, "Ever since I started boxing, I've always sought out great challenges. When my fight with Crawford was announced, I was so happy. This is the kind of exciting test which motivates me to do even more in the gym. I know he is one of the best boxers of today, but Bud, I believe in my own abilities, and I am sure that I will win on his home turf. I want the world to listen carefully to the announcer when he mentions my name as the winner of the fight. It is very difficult to predict how the fight will go, but I believe in myself and my team. We are very motivated and disciplined. We have worked exceptionally hard, and we are ready to go to the United States to fight an absolutely great fight for a title." So he's primed and pumped. Terence Crawford, he's in Colorado training hard. He has some great work. I know somebody he got some rounds in with, Jamel Herring, who signed with Broner's About Billion. So it should be a great fight. Now let's take a look at the tale of the tape. Now, Terence Bud Crawford has a perfect record. 31 fights, all victories, no losses. And he's fought 2 Olympic gold medalists that I know of, Yuriorkis Gamboa, and of course, most recently, Felix Diaz. And he literally toyed with him, did whatever he wanted with him. Julius Indongo, also an undefeated fighter. Somebody's O has to go. Julius Indongo has a record of 22-0. The age advantage goes to Terence Crawford. He is the younger fighter here, 29 years old. Julius Indongo a little bit older. Sometimes age brings seasoning. Julius Indongo is 34 years old. Another very interesting metric is the height. Terence Crawford, again, is fighting a guy who is taller. And the reason I say again is because I covered his fight with Victor Postol, and Postol was noticeably taller. Terence Crawford has a good frame. He can easily move up to welterweight if he wanted to, but he's not the taller man here. Height, Terence Crawford is listed at 5 foot 8 inches tall. Julius Indongo, however, is 5 foot 10.5 inches. So he has some serious height for 140 pounds. This fight will take place at 140 pounds, junior welterweight division. This is for all the marbles. This is for all the belts. Crawford has most of the belts, and including the Ring Magazine belt, and Julius Indongo has the last 2 belts. So the winner of this fight is the captain of the ship and the top guy and the undisputed, which is a forgotten thing in the sport of boxing. People forget the power of being undisputed. That means you could say nobody in my division is better than me because I have all the belts, and this is what I like to see. Although Indongo is much taller, the reach advantage is pretty close. Crawford has a 70-inch reach to Julius Indongo's 71.5-inch reach. I'm really looking forward to this fight. This will be in the home state of Terence Crawford. It's not happening in Omaha, but it's still happening in Lincoln, Nebraska. Terence Crawford draws a good crowd, so I expect it to be sold out. Tickets to move good. I've covered 2 Crawford fights in Omaha when he fought in Omaha. Crazy crowds, great, energetic people. They have some good food too. I had some steak there and it was good. You know what I mean? Omaha steak. And I'm looking forward to this. This is a big fight. This is a lot of opportunity. Again, undisputed. There's guys like Bernard Hopkins historically that have held that prestigious title in divisions. Like, I'm the undisputed, I'm the man. So Crawford's going to be trying to defend his belts and collect someone else's belts, which is definitely admirable in the sport of boxing. In his way stands Julius Indongo, who has proven time and time again he's no slouch. He fought Ricky Burns, pretty much dominated him. Burns, that's a mutual opponent that both guys have fought. Crawford and Indongo both fought Burns in different divisions at different times. Crawford fought him at 135, and that's how he became a champion. He went over to Scotland and beat him. Indongo later beat him when he became champion again and had a belt at 140. Now we're getting an undisputed fight, and I'm looking forward to this. This is a good fight. Again, Indongo, nothing to play with. He has momentum. He knocked out Troyanovsky, who I believe was Terence Crawford's mandatory at the time, and he was an undefeated fighter, and Indongo took his O. So you definitely have to watch out for him. He's tough. He seems cagey, and he wants it. And those are guys you got to watch out for in the sport of boxing. Little known. You've seen what happened to Pacquiao and Jeff Horn on ESPN. This fight will be on ESPN. Top Rank put together a very meaningful fight. And Terence Crawford, if he beats Indongo, he's the man. And I like the tenacity of Terence Crawford and the competitiveness that he shows time and time again. He shows you he's down to fight whoever, and this is just more proof of that. Let me know what you guys think. Terence Crawford versus Julius Indongo. Great fight in Lincoln, Nebraska. Should be sold out. It should get good coverage on ESPN, and I'm looking forward to it. You probably have Teddy Atlas there and whoever else, maybe Bradley or something. Bradley has sparred Terence Crawford. They know each other well, so hopefully they get a good commentary crew and we get this cracking. Again, if you have a basic cable package, you should get ESPN. This is a fight I'm looking forward to, and Terence Crawford, if he does this, he will have beaten Gennady Golovkin in the race to becoming undisputed. Golovkin is 1 belt away, but he took the money fight. He's fighting Canelo Alvarez in September. You know what I mean? Instead of like a Billy Joe Saunders, who's the only other guy at his weight class with the belt. So we'll see. And if Julius Indongo upsets Terence Crawford, then he'll be undisputed. Let me know your thoughts. Boxing Ego First Look, Tell of the Tape. We working. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.